Hi, it's Gary. Welcome to today's video. So here we are. It's the final of the Fountain Pen Tournament of 2025. Which pen is going to win the winner's trophy? There you go. Which one's going to be taking that home for the next year? Is it going to be the Asvine P20? Is it going to be the TWSBI VAC 700R? Or is it going to be the Pilot Custom 823? It's down to you to decide. What we're going to do today is we're going to do a quick walk through the pens, looking at the pen bodies, size comparisons, weights and measures, a writing sample, then I hand it over to you to vote for the winning pen. Welcome down to the table. Here we are, our three finalists. We've got the Asvine P20, we've got the TWSBI VAC 700R, and we've got the Pilot Custom 823. Three completely different price points, two different filling systems. We've got pens from China, from Taiwan, and from Japan. Let's jump on in and walk through the bodies. Not a detailed walkthrough, we're just looking at really similarities and differences and any key points about the pens. The first one is with the Asvine. This material, just look at that. That is stunning, isn't it? Really nice. I believe it's called Starry Skies. Very nice. You can really see some nice colours in there. With the Asvine, this is completely transparent. So we've got a proper full demonstrator here. See that ink there sloshing around. And then with the Pilot, again, we can see that ink sloshing around, although we've got a brown colour now. Shapes of the bodies, well, all three a little bit different. We've got this Leonardo Memento Zero style pen here with the pointed ends. We've got that TWSBI there, and then we've got that more cigar type, more like standard what people expect from a pen type shape with the Pilot. Clip wise on the Asvine, here we've got that spinning ball, like a lot of Italian pens, which is what it's imitating. Here's the clip here with the TWSBI, just nice and simple. It's got this blue colour. This is the kyanite version, which is like a pale blue, so this is all fitting through. Then here with the Pilot, we've got the clip coming down, we've got the ball on the bottom, and we've got the word Pilot there. Got rings here on all three of them. Drop off down to the body. Sort of notice it on the Asvine. Virtually seamless here on the TWSBI. And again, you get to notice it there on the Pilot. Filling mechanisms with the Asvine. This is a piston filler. One thing it does have, it has an ink window here. It's a bit small, but you can see through it. Let me see if I can get this to focus for you. There we go. There's the ink window with the ink sloshing around inside. Both the TWSBI and the Pilot, they are both vacuum filling pens. If we look here with the TWSBI, because it's easier to see, so we've got a bar running up through the middle. So to fill it, I'm not going to do that. I would unscrew this fully, pull this out, which pulls this plunger up, slowly pushing it down. That creates a vacuum as I go down. Then down here near the bottom, it suddenly splays out inside, which frees the vacuum and draws the ink in. Same mechanism that we've got with that Pilot, as I say. The other nice thing about these is if you look here at the plunger, with both of these, if we twist it down, it shuts off the section from the main body, so it minimises any ink leakage if you should have an issue where it just suddenly decides to lose all its ink. Let me just open it up again. Hopefully you saw that coming up. Let's take the caps off. So with the Asvine, it's half, 1, 1.5, 2, about 2 1/4 turns to take the cap off. With the TWSBI, it's half, 1, about 1.5, 1 1/4, 1.5 turns there for the TWSBI. And then finally the Pilot, We go half, 1, 1.5, about 1 3/4 turns. So all of them not too bad. Maybe the Asvine getting a little bit too many. Before we look at the nibs, we'll have a quick look at the sections. So here we are with the section on the Asvine. Just seems to be going down a little bit. So very similar to the old Leonardo style section, just not as pronounced. So my fingers, they do fit quite nicely there. With the TWSBI, the section, as you can hopefully see, is transparent as well. I know my lights are catching on this terrible. At the bottom of it, we've got this blue trim, again matches in with the kyanite. In terms of comfort, it does start to feel where it's getting close to that narrow point. It's still more than usable. It's not uncomfortable, but I'm starting to feel it getting a little bit narrower. We'll look at our measures in a while. Then we've got this nice little lip though there on that. And then with the pilot, got a slight taper down here on the section. It's a solid brown colour. There's a little tiny lip at the bottom. So again, my fingers, they fit quite nicely there. Let's line these nibs up and then we'll take a closer look at them. So firstly with the Asvine, this is a steel nib. It's dull coloured. We've got a nice decorative border. Below the breather hole, we've got an M, and then below that, we've got the word Asvine. I believe this nib is made by Schmidt, and we'll take a closer look at how it writes in a little bit. With the TWSBI, I do like the TWSBI. I think this kyanite colour on here is really nice. So again, steel nib. So we've got predominantly the steel colour. Then at the end, to tie in with everything else, we've got that kyanite colour. Below the breather hole, we've got the TWSBI logo. Then we've got the TWSBI engraved in there as well. And 1.1, this is a 1.1 stub nib, obviously. The final one here with the pilot, this is a 14 karat gold nib. Really nice. It's an enjoyable nib. Well, all of them are, but this one has got a nice little bit of bounce that's coming into it as I've been using it. Again, we've got that decorative border. Below the breather hole, we have the word pilot. Then we've got 14K585, 14 karat gold nib. 15, this is the pilot nib size, so it's a number 15 pilot nib. Roughly equivalent to a number 6 nib with most other pens. Then below that, we've got broad. This is a broad nibbed pen. On the side, these characters, you can use them to work out where the nib was made and when it was made. Let's swap over and we'll do some size comparisons. I've brought in my two standard size comparisons. We've got the Pilot Metropolitan, we've got the Lamy Safari. So all three of today's pens with the cap on are longer than my two standards. Width-wise, I would say they all look roughly the same width as I'm seeing there with the Safari. Let's take the caps off. With the caps off, we're getting a slightly different story. The Safari now is about the same length as we're seeing with the Asvine. It's slightly shorter, but nowhere near as much as before with the Pilot. And again, with the TWSBI, slightly longer, but not as much as it was when we had the cap on. What are these pens like in the hand? So with the Asvine, here we go. This is nice and comfortable. The section feels nice in my hand. As I've already shown you with it, my fingers just fit nicely down there. Comfortable length. Don't really need to use it posted. Can I post it? I could if I want to, but it posts just to here. So I'd be worried about triggering that mechanism. With the TWSBI again, nice and comfortable in the hand, feels really well balanced. That section there, my fingers resting on that lip. Posted. Again, sort of posts, but posts just down to here. So it's not one I would post. Then with the Pilot, a nice section again, nice length in the hand. Really comfortable to hold. Does post really well. So it's posting right the way down to here. So we've got a real good seat on that. To me, it feels back heavy, but I don't use my pens posted. So whenever I post a pen, it feels back heavy. But it's also got a nice balance to it. So I think this is something, if you like to post pens, you wouldn't have any issues. Let's swap over and fetch in the rule of measuring. Here's the rule of measuring. We start with the Asvine. With the cap on, the full pen about 14.5 centimetres. Unposted, here we're looking at about 12.9. Doesn't really post. You could try it, but I say I wouldn't really recommend it. There, you're looking about 17.2 centimetres. Next up, the TWSBI. Full pen with the cap on, about 14.7 centimetres. Unposted, here we're looking about 13.2. And posted, here we're looking about 17.2. And then with the Pilot, full pen, that comes in at about 14.8. Unposted, 13.1. Posted, here we're looking at about 16.3. With the Asvine, the body width measuring about here, that comes in at 1.39 centimetres. The cap, 1.5. And the section going from 1.04 up to 1.17. With the TWSBI, I measured it about here, that came in at 1.34. The cap, 1.45. And the section going from 1.01 up to 1.08. Finally, with the Pilot, so the body, here we come in at 1.25, the cap 1.49, and then section 1.06 up to 1.13. Let's swap over, fetching the scales of weighing. Here we've got the scales of weighing, starting again with the Asvine. Full pen, 28.6 grams. Remember, all these pens have got some ink in them. Unposted, 18.5, and the cap, 10.2. With a TWSBI, full pen, 35 grams, noticeably heavier. The body, 22.6, and the cap, 12.5. Finally, with the Pilot, 29.8, so in the middle of the other two. Body alone, 20. The only body that stayed still for me, isn't it? And the cap, about 9.8. Let's get this out of the way. Then we've got the exciting part. We've got the writing sample. Just dropping in to interrupt your regular programming. Would you like to help support the channel? If so, please consider joining as a member. As a member, you'll get early access to my videos. I normally upload them a couple of days before they go out, and as soon as they're uploaded, they'll be released to members. There'll also be a shout out at the end of the videos, and then as we get the members coming in, we'll actually chat among ourselves and work out what other perks, what other things you'd like me to add in. You know, would you like maybe a monthly live chat just for members? All down to us. So please, if you can, consider joining the channel. A link will be in the description down below. Here we've got the paper of testing. What I'm using for the final is Irreful, and it's 75 GSM. This has got a grid on this side. Just use the holes. That was me playing around trying to get it into my planner. I ended up having to buy about 3 different hole punches, but I eventually got there. So let me turn this on the side, then we can do our writing tests. So we start with the Asvine. I'm also resting it on this notepad just so I've got a little bit of a bounce underneath it. So we've got the Asvine. This is a medium nib. Puts down a really nice line though. Price wise, you're looking at approximately 44 Aussie dollars. The ink, Colorverse Neptune Occultation. I went down onto that line because I wanted to leave enough room to do this. This is my Wesky Squirrel grid. So I go up and down, filling that nice and quickly, side to side. Down lines and across. No real line variation showing up there. Drying times, immediate. 10 seconds. 30 seconds. Then finally 1 minute. After a minute there, we're still slightly wet. This ink is a sheening ink, so we'll come back later on and we'll check it out to see how it's doing with the sheen. So that's the Asvine P20. Next up, we've got the TWSBI VAC 700R. Better make sure I remember to open that shut-off valve. Price-wise here, we're looking approximately 160 Aussie dollars. The ink, Diamine Sleigh Ride, really nice extreme sheen ink. Let's do that wasky swirl grid. So up and down, side to side. There's lines. So here we can see that line variation coming out from the stub. So the stub, so we've got that, and then going across at a slightly thinner line. Drying times, immediate. 10 seconds. 30 seconds. I'm going to go down below. Then finally 1 minute. After a minute, this one's still smudging, not as much as the previous, but still a nice wet combo. So that's the TWSBI VAC 700R. Let's move that page up. Final pen. This is the Pilot Custom 823. Price wise, here we're looking approximately 594 Aussie dollars, although the price for this does vary a lot depending where you get it from. The ink, Diamine Brandy Snap. Let's do our grid. This broad nib really filling this grid rather quickly. And no obvious line variation. Drying times, immediate. Wow, that's gone halfway over the page nearly. 10 seconds. 30 seconds. Finally, 1 minute. After a minute again, this one's still got a little bit of wetness to it. Let's move the page up. Should give me plenty of room. I'm now going to write a sentence with each of the pens. So that's the Asvine P20. Next up, the TWSBI. And finally, the Pilot Custom 823. Three nice writing pens. The 823, that's got the softest nib, so it's got a nice little bounce to it. Nice audible feedback, nice tactileness as well. With the TWSBI, that was the stiffest feeling of the three. I haven't had that pen as long as the other two, so it may soften up as I go through and use it. But it puts down this really nice character-filled line with the nature of the stub nib. And then with the Asvine, that's got a nice tactileness, it's got a nice audibleness to it, feels really nice. It's in the middle between that stiff TWSBI and that soft Pilot, just a pleasure to write with. Let's just take a quick look at the ink. See these, especially the top two, can we see the... There we go. So with the Asvine and the Colorverse, it's hard to capture on the camera, but I am getting some nice subtle, like a dark red sheen coming through, so I can see that, but getting the camera to pick it up is not as easy as you think. And then with the TWSBI, this is the other sheen one, this is the extreme sheen. There you go, we got a little bit showing there. Masses and masses of this glorious green sheen coming through. I'm going to be honest with you, I think I've said this, if you've watched my channels for a while, that Sleigh Ride, my favourite ink, full stop. So what are my final thoughts on these pens before I give them over to you to vote for the winning pen? So the three pens, we've got the Asvine P20, we've got the TWSBI VAC 700R, and then we've got that Pilot Custom 823. Three really good pens, three pens that really do deserve getting into the final. It's been a really enjoyable journey as we've gone through the heats, then the semi-finals, to come up with these three pens. Really enjoyed it. I'm really torn between them as well because I like them all. I like the looks here with the Asvine P20. It's got a really nice tactileness to it. It's a pleasure to use. It's also fairly reasonably priced. The TWSBI VAC 700R holds a load of ink. I love the demonstrator nature. One thing, and I haven't pointed it out, but you can see here, I have got some spray from the ink coming into the cap. So one thing I do need to keep an eye on. I love this kyanite colour as well. I do have another VAC 700R. This one was actually a gift from a viewer, so I very much appreciate that. 160 Aussie dollars, sitting there in the middle, quite a reasonable one. Yeah, is it worth it? Yeah, $160, not bad. Finally, that Pilot Custom 823. Again, we've got the demonstrator nature. We've got the brown here. Takes a load of ink. That gold nib, that bounce to it, it's such a pleasure to write with. I do like nibs with that bit of a bounce. With the writing, you can just about see it coming through here. We've got some nice shading coming through with this Brandy Snap ink. Until this Brandy Snap is used up, this is the only ink going into this pen now. It's nice. It's really a pleasure to write with. I'm going to just do something I don't normally do. Let's turn over the pages. So none really are even showing through. Remember, this is Aerofill 75 GSM paper. So it's over to you now to vote for the pen that you want to win the final. Head on over to my YouTube community page. There you'll find the posts tab, and in there, there's a poll to vote for the pen that you'd like to win. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. So which pen do you think should win? Which pen will get the trophy? Head on over to my YouTube channel. There you'll find the posts page, and on there, there's a poll to vote for the winning pen. Polls will close on Saturday night, so you've got roughly 6 days. Go and vote. Then on Sunday morning, during my normal live, we'll announce the winning pen and we'll present it with the trophy. Please hit the thumbs up button. Every time you like, every time you comment, just helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get new videos as I release them. I'll talk to you again soon.